Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And Blizzard doth not forsaken us when it comes to the midnight beta, because after the most recent round of changes prior to this video update, there was a lot of stuff that was really borked and a lot of stuff that was really broken. So in this round of adjustments that we are going to be checking out, we're going to see how much of that damage has now been mitigated and controlled. And as always, if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date with news related to World of Warcraft, educational and entertaining content, then make sure to smash that subscribe button. Your support is greatly appreciated. But first things first, Unholy Death Knights, you guys were giga broken after the changes that happened. I think these are pre-patch changes, but the changes that happened like 2 days ago, you guys were giga broken. So Blizzard is immediately pulling back on some of the stuff that you got. So all of your lesser ghoul damage is being reduced by 20%. Outnumber lesser ghoul sweeping claw damage is being reduced by a further 30%. Pet ghoul sweeping claws damage has been reduced by 30%. Scourge strike and vampiric strike damage has been reduced by 20%. Infected claws has been reduced by 20%. This is pretty much every ability that they literally buffed 2 days ago getting nerfed by almost the same amount. Graveyard damage has been reduced by 20. Necrotic coil has been reduced by 20. Morbidity now increases the damage the target takes per disease by 1%, down from 2. Dread plague and virulent plague damage has been reduced by 15%, and all of your damage has been reduced by 15% on top of that. Forbidden Knowledge rank 4 now has a 25% chance to cause a lesser ghoul to putrefy. This is up from 15%, so a little bit of a set bonus buff. And all of these changes have been hotfixed basically into the beta. It was like completely unplayable. Also, solo shuffle is like not working. You like can't even queue it. I was trying to do some testing yesterday on the new Devourer Demon Hunter, which I think is really fun in 1v1. But I wanted to try some like team play with it because that's obviously like the more competitive bracket where you see a lot of play. But it just wasn't working at all. So I'm kind of hoping they're going to fix that or adjust it. The other issue is that everybody re-rolled a DK. So if you even wanted to do anything, the only thing that existed on the beta server was Death Knights. So hopefully this is going to pull them back a bit more in line. And honestly, I feel like if you're an Unholy DK player, you'd rather have this happen now, because if this happened while the game was live, and then if they decide, all right, we're done making changes for this patch, and they move on to the next one, and then you end up being garbanzo beans for the whole patch, that's a way worse position. So I wouldn't dread these changes too much if you're an Unholy Death Knight player and you haven't been playing the beta. You see big numbers like this, you guys were that strong, and likely this is probably better to have happen earlier in the beta phase. Now, there are some changes here for Holy Priest. Healers in general received a pretty big update for this patch, and I think their goal is to remove a lot of the passive automatic healing and make more of your active healing impactful, which I think will be felt very well, and it will make the pacing of the game feel like you're more in control of the game overall, and they can actually have health bars move down without them just being one shot. So I think it's going to be overall much healthier. But for Holy Priest, they feel like they have fallen behind. Ironically, Holy Priest is one of the few healers I haven't really gotten to touch yet. We are increasing some controlled sources of healing with this change, and including some reductions in power to Cosmic Ripple, as well as reductions to the power of a couple Archon talents to better maintain hero talent balance, and to keep the healing experience consistent with more healing from directly casted spells. So Flash Shield, 12% buff. Prayer of Healing, same. Holy Word Serenity, same. Holy Word Sanctify, same. Renew, same. The second and third rank of Benediction now increase Cosmic Ripple healing by 15 to 30, down from 25 to 50, and they increase all healing done by 6 to 12, up from 5 to 10. So just Cosmic Ripple specifically targeted here. Archon Empowered Surges increases the healing of spells affected by Surge of Light by 5%, down from 15, and Archon Halo healing has been reduced by 20%. So mostly very good for you when it comes to single target healing, and I would say a little bit of AoE as well with Sanctify and Renew, and Prayer of Healing being increased. So I think this is a healthy change, and these numbers are a little bit more reasonable. I whenever I see the numbers where it's like they're moving something by 100%, and then the following day they got to like cut it all back, I feel like, if it's a healer's weaker, slowly eke it up. It's not there, eke it up again. We got a few more weeks till the expansion comes out, rather than just picking a really big number and overshooting and then having to cut that back down type of deal when it comes to tuning. So I feel like this is a very healthy approach to getting Holy Priest to where they would ideally have it. Shadow Priest, originally you guys didn't have any notes, and now you do. Developers notes, Shadow has been overperforming. Oh no, not the notes you want to see. Relative to other specializations, particularly as Void Weaver. Oh no. We are reducing the power of some of its talents to bring its power level more in line with other specializations and the Archon hero talent tree. They fixed an issue causing Void Torrent to have a 45-second cooldown instead of the intended 30. That sounds like a buff. You're getting more Void Torrents. However, Void Heart from Void Weaver now increases shadow damage only by 5%, down from 10. And Void Weaver Overwhelming Shadows now increases Void Torrent damage only by 30%, down from 50. I still feel like getting your Void Torrent more frequently that's huge. Void Weaver Inner Quietus now increases the damage of Vampiric Touch and Shadow Red Pain only by 20%, down from 35. So this is a significant drop in strength, actually. Your main dots and all of your damage, including dots, by an additional 5. So maybe you guys didn't want to be on here. But again, I feel like getting nerfed right now in the beta cycle is probably ideal. It's probably ideal. You do not want to be going, into the release of the Race to World first, and your class is 50% better than every other class, and you're going to get giga hotfix nerfed and be probably bad for the rest of the patch. So probably better to have this happen now rather than later, to try and give you guys some ease of heart when it comes to these types of changes. We got Restoration Shaman here as well with some updates. We are pulling back on some of the power healing effects that are harder to control, particularly Stormstream Totem, which I believe is the new Apex Totem, where Healing Stream transforms, and increasing the healing of controlled sources with the goal of a more consistent healing experience. We also made a recent change to allow Stormstream Totem to also be usable after casting Nature's Swiftness, which works in tandem with these goals. So again, just making the game more understandable, right? I press a casted heal, HP bar go up. They pressed casted damage, HP bar go down. Right, so I feel like I upload a lot of clips to this channel. You guys watch them, and you're just in. Sometimes it'll be he casted 5 lava bursts and no one's health moved, and stuff like that. And then other times somebody's just dead in a millisecond, right? And that's a layering of all these passive healing effects. That's a layering of all of these passive damage reduction effects stacking on top of each other that make the game way more complicated to understand than previous iterations of the game. So these sound on paper like a good direction. What specifically have they changed? Healing Rain is being increased by 30%. Chain Heal is being increased by 10%. Healing Wave is being increased by 10%. Riptide is being increased by 10%. Stormstream Totem now causes Riptide to have a 6% chance to upgrade Healing Stream Totem, down from 10. So you're going to be proccing it a lot less frequently. And Stormstream Totem now heals for 10% more than Healing Stream Totem, down from 30. So it's a very minor, almost just cosmetic change for the totem. And then for Totemic, Primal Catalyst, chance for Earth Living to trigger, is now 8%, down from 20. So a lot less passive healing across the board on the healers. I think they are trying to iterate on mana management as well, so that all healers have to be a bit more conscious of their mana moving forward. But it's just about making the game more readable. So it's about making the game more understandable than it currently is. But obviously you're going to be losing quite a lot of power because you had so much automatic healing that was keeping people alive in groups, and that with now that healing gone, it's all about your button presses. So this I'm interested to see how this plays out. I feel like it's a high risk stake that Blizzard is taking with the healer role, with the class reworks in general, with the removal of add-ons, and hitting all of these at the same time. Is that this could either end up being the best thing we've ever experienced, and oh my god, it's a return to form, and we're back to the Wrath of Lich King days as far as hype for the game, or healers end up absolutely miserable, can't keep up with things, can't see anything on the UI, and everybody's blaming them, and then they all quit, and then no one can build a group, and everything is over. I really don't know if there's a middle ground with these changes. It just feels like there's so much happening all at the same time, such high stakes, very chaotic, that they're gonna have to stay on top of it. They gotta be very careful with changes like what they did with DK, where they overshot it by a huge amount, but the good news is that they reacted to it very quickly, because the beta was looking like it was going to be unplayable if they didn't. And another difficulty right now in the beta is that the damage meters, it's really hard to actually decipher them to figure out what's going on. At least with PvP testing, it doesn't show enemy damage, and it doesn't save the damage in between games, so you can't go back and look at what happened in this round with this class that I got hit really hard, and you can figure out what's going on and relay feedback. It's hard to get any information to improve the game, so it's increasing the likelihood that this could end up being a fiesta by the end of it. But I can see the vision, and I can see those goals being worth it. I think making the game more understandable, bringing down the class level complexity should be a better introductory experience, especially considering how many new players maybe are coming in from all of the classic experiences, from all of the remix experiences that might have dabbled in it, and with all the hype for the expansion, they're going to come in. This is probably the best time to try and make it as accessible as possible. And then if classes end up feeling too boring or something like that along the way, they can always add a little bit back later, and then the new people who get in have a chance to be introduced to the class at a simpler baseline, and then they can add the abilities back. To me, that sounds like a very good plan. It's just a matter of execution. And this week's round of updates, this one right here in particular, I think was a really good one. And I'm glad that they reined in a bit of the mistake that they had made previously. And I think as long as they're on top of that, we're week by week, day by day now, apparently too, as well with tuning, the game is going to be getting into a great place. So I hope you guys enjoyed the update here. Thank you guys very much for watching and supporting, and I will see you in the next one.